Hey guys, welcome back to the Golden Lions Den. I think that'll work for now. So today's kind of a rest day, Wednesday. I know some guys have Thursday as a rest day. That's also cool. Just make sure that you've got some time, like we spoke about, that you take some time to rest, recover. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do or to perform at your best while at the gym or while doing cardio. And again, we talk about sustainability, but I'm not going to go into that. There's another thing I think is very important, is you versus you. I know that that's a thing that people always see a lot, and of course anybody really depends on your journey. So here we are starting off as not even an athlete yet, kind of as a beginner individual, and you're going to have to work through a lot of lessons and learning and growth in order to become an athlete. And when you become an athlete, then you're at an amateur level, then an intermediary, then kind of an advanced, and then to a professional, right? But people want to skip these steps, right? Because you're fucking special. Everybody's always special, right, Greta? Tonight she reminded me. Yeah, tonight she reminded me how special she every now and again we all slip up and we think we can get away with things that we can't, you know? And the thing is, as you progress through this journey of improvement and progress, you're going to learn that you versus you is kind of where you start off at. It's if you realize that yes, you're the one going to have to make the decisions and put the actions and things in place to succeed, definitely. You would first need to talk to someone to get help. You first need to realize you need help, right? Then you talk to me. Then most of you, and a lot of you are gonna relate to this, is you thought you knew kind of what to do, and then after we had a chat, you think, okay, I'm gonna have to rethink this whole thing, right? Because again, we are not aware. We don't know things we don't. They say there's 3 stages: the things we know, the things we know we don't know, and the things we don't know. And look, there's a lot of stuff like that. Like, this is probably 90% of the information out there is things we don't even know we don't know, right? So humble yourself a little, pull back, and then you realize that, okay, I need some help with this. How am I going to do that, right? And then you start off there. And the you versus you is you lying to yourself, convincing yourself, no, I need this biscuit, I need that muffin, I need that extra meal. It's okay if I skip that. It's at the end of the day, it's not okay, because you're cutting yourself short, right? That's where that whole you versus you thing comes in. And then as you progress, you get to a level where you're an athlete. Again, then you have a good mindset and a bad mindset as an athlete, where you don't take responsibility, there's no accountability, and then you're not going to succeed, right? And then you got the other side, which is good, where you take accountability. You know that what you're doing is working or not working, because either you're applying it fully or you're not. There's no halfway in this game, unfortunately. As I've mentioned, there's no halfway. You're not going to stumble into success, right? So at the end of the day, the better you get, you will be in your own way less. You will be less of an obstacle for yourself. And if you're telling me I'm not an obstacle for myself, all that about bullshit, man, every now and again I still get in my own way sometimes. And it's only when you can sit down, take a look, and realize. I try to take a moment every day and reflect, just kind of take a step back. Just because you slip into bad habits, right? We slip in, it doesn't happen like that. It slowly with increments. Always explain, like people with soft and hard power. I know that's people have different definitions of these things, but I always see like you have a rock, big giant rock versus a flower. So if we had to bump these two together, which would come out on top, right? We would think the rock. But if we had to leave that flower on top of the rock for enough time, and the flower's roots would need to find a way around the rock until it finds an opening where it can get its roots in, and it can actually destroy the rock, right? Or split it in half or whatever. That's not me making shit up, that's reality, right? You actually see that in nature. And bad habits have the same way of looking for a weak spot, finding it, getting inside, and just fucking up our whole plan. And then at the end of the day, if you can't take accountability for that root that got in a weak point, you're thinking that we're special. We don't have these weak points. We're all human. We go through the same things. Every now and again, when I talk to an athlete, they're surprised that how I know so much of where they are at or what they are doing without them telling me. Is I can see it because I've seen it so many times. We don't realize sometimes how similar we are. We are more similar, all of us, than we are different, without a doubt, right? So at the end of the day, we have this phase we work as we come into the sport. I see sometimes the progression, and I love seeing athletes grow and realize things. The other day, and I think he watches this, one of my athletes was sitting here, we're having a conversation, and I said something, I can't remember what it was, and he said, wow, he's never seen it like that. He's never seen it that way. And we've been working together for years. But if I don't see something, if you don't share, if we don't get together, I told him he should come make a turn, because this is somebody I only see every now and again, life, we're all getting very busy. And then sometimes we lose touch, but always my athletes come back, have a chat with me, and we get you on the right path quickly, or we get you sometimes it's almost like one of your wheels gets stuck in mud, right? It's like you're struggling to get out of this specific spot, or you're stuck and you don't realize it. If you don't, again, as I said, we all get to it, and if you don't reflect enough, this happens easily. But as I've said, things we don't know, right? So as you get to let's say we've gone through these stages, because we're all going to go through various things in our life, scenarios, obstacles, challenges, before we can actually and remember, there's going to be a lot of success too. I'm just saying that people don't always think about their successes or where they're doing good. They're only thinking about the one or two things that bother them. People are not grateful. I'll just leave it at that. That's why I always remind you, if you are not grateful, you're going to have a fucking bad time, man. Going to have a bad time. Because a lot of people don't even see their progress. They would even go further than they even thought that they would. But because they keep moving the goalpost and not being grateful for what they currently have, they lose everything, right? So as we move through, we get to a professional level. This is where the you versus you shit don't count no more. When I talk about preparing athletes for local shows and preparing athletes for international shows, the you versus you for international shows, that we can't even have that shit. We can't even have that shit, because there are too many other factors we have to worry about, we have to be ready for us to reach a certain level of success. If you are still struggling with yourself to get your meals in on time, to get in your water, to do your training, to do your cardio, to check your form every time you're in the gym, don't go in there, just hammer it out and go home and think that was a great session because I'm sweating. If you are not focusing on contracting the muscles every rep, if you are not mindful of every rep and every set, you are wasting your fucking time. I have seen people, I've left gyms and came back 2 years later, and those people are still in the gym looking the exact same, doing the exact same shit. Don't want to be that guy, right? We don't want to be that person. You want to see progress consistently, because and I mean, again, a lot of people just enjoy training, and they would go and not need to physically, a lot of them are happy with the way they look as they are. And that's great too. For me, I like progress. I like complete, whole time changing. That's always, I've got hobbies that I work on that I'm always trying to evolve, a little bit of learning and growing as I can, where I have the ability to do so, right? So as you get to a certain level, at a professional level where we are competing overseas, I can't imagine we've spent so much time, so much effort for you to get to an international level, right? Because that could be a dream of yours, to reach that level. Some people think I'll never even be able to do that. And then you're there buying airplane tickets, getting ready to go overseas to compete, and now you're there. And imagine you are still struggling with not following your diet, not drinking your water, not following, the various plans that have been set out for you, that you've committed to, and now you're spending lots of money as you're going overseas, wasting all of that coming back. How would you enjoy the journey if it's still you versus you? It's still you being in your own way. If you're not out there being grateful, just doing what you can do, doing your best, and then going overseas and doing well, It's an experience that is hard to describe, the kind of Sure, I don't know if there's a word for it. For me, reaching certain levels, going to international shows, doing things that was dreams to me that I thought I would never achieve. And then once doing it, look back and think, of course I did that because I committed to these plans, and now I know anybody can do it. Anybody can do it if you can put your mind to it. Okay, I'm not going to look at a certain training thing tonight. Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. This is a long video already, but I thought the idea is more important for me, so I'm going to share about, you see it's about 10, 11 minutes. I'm going to share it as is. Very important. Okay, this is something that you might want to come back to every now and again. If you're one of my athletes, come back to this, listen to me swear at you a little bit so you can get back on the way that you need to be, keeping the journey in mind. Where you are now, do you think now you're at the best that you will ever be? Where are you here? You know what I'm saying? Do you think you're here? Do you think you're already at a professional level, at an advanced level? What can you show me to show this is me? This is why I'm advanced. This is why I'm here. Or at your beginner level saying, I fucking know I'm right here. I'm right at the beginning level. It's still me versus me every now and again. And there is an athlete we chat every couple of days. You know you are. That's me, right? That's every now and again. I'm kind of a little bit in my own way. And that's okay if you can see yourself. You're taking accountability for it. And I love that. If people can talk to me saying, look, I screwed up. How can I fix this? How can I get this thing sorted out? Don't hide from it. People hide from those types of things. Things, you know, it's not going to sort itself out. A long thought, we're already at 12 minutes. I'm going to cut it. I hope you guys have a great night. Remember to take the rest when you need the rest. You will be better tomorrow. Some of my athletes are so surprised when they see sometimes and they hear that I took 1 or 2 or 3 months off. Like, what? Look at how you look. How's that even possible? I'm like, I just keep on eating. I'm consistent. I'm committed to a plan and I stick to it. And you'll bear the fruits, right? Have a great night, guys.